Ladies and gentlemen, there is a great power in silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not absence. Silence is the place where destiny is shaped, where vision is cultivated, and where greatness is born. Too many people today want noise before results, applause before achievement, and recognition before contribution. But the truth is this: real success grows in silence long before it is announced on a stage. Your vision is the most delicate part of your destiny because it is born in the invisible realm before it ever shows up in the visible. When an idea first comes to you, it doesn't arrive fully formed or fully strong. It comes as a seed, a picture in your heart, a whisper in your spirit. And just like a seed placed in the soil, it needs protection before it can grow into something others can see. If you speak too soon, if you expose it to people who cannot see what you see, their doubts and negativity can choke it before it even has a chance to breathe. Not everyone has the faith to carry what you are carrying. Some people will laugh, some will criticize, and some will try to talk you out of it simply because they don't have the capacity to believe at the level you do. That is why silence becomes your shield. It is not about hiding because of fear. It is about guarding because of wisdom. When you protect your vision in silence, you allow it to develop strength in the dark. You allow it to build roots where no one can interfere, and you give it the privacy it needs to grow. Every individual is given a limited reserve of energy each day, mental, emotional, and physical. And how that energy is spent determines the quality of progress achieved. When you constantly engage in explaining your every move, defending your ideas, or trying to convince those who are uninterested or unsupportive, you are essentially pouring out vital strength into empty vessels. Silence, therefore, becomes a strategic mechanism for energy preservation. Instead of scattering your attention across endless debates and unnecessary justifications, you direct your focus into tangible execution. The more you talk about what you are planning, the less capacity you often have left to actually implement it. Energy is not only consumed through physical action, but also through mental exertion, and unnecessary conversations drain it faster than most people realize. Working quietly allows you to invest that finite power into the structures, systems, and discipline that will ultimately produce results. It keeps your momentum intact and prevents you from being distracted by external noise. Great builders, thinkers, and visionaries understand that energy wasted on proving oneself is energy stolen from progress. By conserving it, you amplify productivity, sharpen clarity, and accelerate outcomes in ways that noise could never achieve. There are people who silently observe you, not to celebrate your success, but to anticipate your downfall. They are not motivated by your vision. They are motivated by curiosity, jealousy, or doubt. These individuals thrive on predicting your failure. And the more you speak, the more information you give them to feed their assumptions. When you work in silence, you remove their ability to calculate your moves. They cannot track your progress because there is nothing visible to track. This creates confusion because doubters rely on evidence of your weakness to validate their disbelief in you. When you suddenly emerge with tangible results, it disrupts their expectations and forces them to acknowledge what they once denied. Silence makes your journey unpredictable and shields you from premature interference. It also keeps your confidence intact because you are no longer tied to the reactions of those waiting to see you stumble. Instead, you remain committed to your process, hidden from unnecessary criticism and free from the weight of external opinions. In that hidden space, you gain an advantage because while others are busy guessing, you are busy building. And while they are watching, you are quietly preparing something undeniable. When no one is watching, when there's no applause, no validation, and no recognition, that is the moment your true character is being shaped. Working in silence is not just about avoiding noise. It is about building inner strength that does not depend on external praise. Discipline grows when you stay consistent without needing an audience to cheer you on. Integrity deepens when you continue doing the right thing, even though no one is checking. The absence of public attention becomes the environment where you learn to master yourself. Because the reality is, if you only perform when people are looking, then you are driven by ego, not purpose. But when you remain steady in the shadows, when you keep showing up day after day in silence, you are proving to yourself that your commitment is real. This process is uncomfortable because silence forces you to confront laziness, excuses, and inconsistency. It tests whether you are truly serious about your goals or just performing for recognition. Character is built in that hidden place, and it becomes the foundation that allows you to carry success without being destroyed by it. Because what is rooted in silence cannot be shaken by noise. Results are the loudest language anyone can ever speak. You don't have to convince people with arguments or long explanations when your work produces undeniable outcomes. Think of a tree. When it bears fruit, it does not announce to the world that it is fruitful. It simply produces, and the evidence draws people on its own. In the same way, when you focus on building in silence, your achievements will eventually speak louder than anything you could have said. People may doubt your words, but they cannot deny your results. They may question your potential, but they cannot ignore your accomplishments. Working in silence shifts the focus away from talking about what you will do and directs it toward doing it. Every completed task, every breakthrough, every milestone becomes a voice that communicates louder than self-promotion. Success has a sound of its own, and it echoes without needing your assistance. Those who once doubted are forced to acknowledge what stands before them because results silence criticism more effectively than any debate. And while others are still busy explaining their plans, you stand with proof that speaks volumes without requiring you to utter a single word. Focus is one of the most powerful assets you can ever develop. And silence is the environment where focus thrives. When you are constantly talking about your goals, sharing your next move, or broadcasting every step, you invite distraction into your process. The more voices you allow into your space, the more clutter fills your mind. Noise pulls your attention in different directions, leaving you scattered and unproductive. But when you choose to work quietly, you shut out the unnecessary chatter and give yourself the space to concentrate fully on execution. Focus means having the ability to direct all your mental, emotional, and physical energy toward a single objective without being pulled off course. Silence protects that ability because it limits interruptions and shields you from the opinions of others that can dilute your vision. In silence, your clarity sharpens, your priorities align, and you are able to see the steps more clearly without being clouded by outside influences. Distraction is the enemy of progress, and noise is the breeding ground for distraction. By moving quietly, you keep your eyes fixed on the work, you remain committed to the process, and you channel all your strength into building something that lasts. Every great accomplishment is the result of a process. What processes are often hidden, messy, and misunderstood. When you are in the middle of building something meaningful, there will be failures, adjustments, and seasons where things do not look impressive to the outside world. If you expose that process too early, people may judge the unfinished product and discourage you from continuing. Silence gives you room to grow without the pressure of public opinion. It allows you to make mistakes in private, to correct them without shame, and to refine your vision without interference. The process requires time, and during that time it really looks attractive. A seed buried in the soil looks like nothing is happening, yet beneath the surface, roots are spreading deep and strong. In the same way, your silent work beneath the surface is preparing the foundation for something far greater. To honor the process means to respect its timing, to understand that progress may not be instantly visible, and to trust that consistency in a hidden place is building the strength required for visible success. Silence becomes your covering, giving you the freedom to endure the rough stages until the result is ready to be revealed. Timing is one of the most critical factors in the journey of success, and silence creates the space for timing to work in your favor. Just as a seed must remain hidden underground until the right season, your work must also remain hidden until it has matured enough to withstand exposure. Speaking or revealing too soon can create unnecessary pressure, because what is not yet ready can easily be torn apart by criticism or weakened by premature celebration. Silence teaches you patience. It trains you to trust the rhythm of growth, and it protects your vision until the right moment arrives. When the timing is right, the doors will open that no one can shut, and the opportunities will align in ways that no amount of noise could have forced. Silence is not denial of your progress. It is preparation for the appointed time, when your results will be undeniable. It keeps you grounded during the waiting season and helps you avoid the trap of rushing just to prove something to others. Working quietly ensures that when your work is finally revealed, it carries the strength, maturity, and influence that only come from being released at the proper time. Silence is not emptiness. It is strategy. It is the hidden workshop where vision takes form, where discipline is refined, and where strength is gathered for the journey ahead. Those who understand the value of working in silence are not avoiding the world. They are preparing to impact it, because noise fades quickly, but results endure. Noise attracts attention for a moment, but true influence comes from what has been consistently built behind closed doors. Protecting your vision, conserving your energy, confusing your doubters, shaping your character, letting results speak, sharpening your focus, honoring the process, and waiting for the right timing. These are the silent steps that lead to lasting success. If you embrace the power of silence, you won't need to announce your greatness. Your fruit will announce it for you. And in the end, the world will not remember how loudly you spoke about your dreams. It will remember how powerfully you lived them.